Welcome to another 3ABN Today program. We're the Micheff sisters, and I'm Linda.
I'm Brenda. And I'm Cinda.
And we are going to do something today that is hard for any Micheff to
That's
do.
Right. In fact, I don't think we've ever done this before.
I don't think so either.
Go ahead and tell them, sis, what it is.
We are going to attempt to cook for two. Recipes for two.
For two. In fact, that's what we're doing for our next cookbook.
That's right.
We're not done with it yet. We're working. It's going to be the most challenging project we've ever done.
That's
because
right.
Micheffs are just known for cooking in large amounts.
Right. That's right. Well, some of the things we're going to be making for you today is a roasted walnut salad.
With lots of fruit and nuts.
That's right. Oh, and stuffing tartlets.
Ooh, I like that too. I've had that before, I have to say. And then stuffed peppers. Now, we grew up, this is a variation of Mom's recipe with that.
And honey cornbread for two.
And then, elegant potato and gravy boats. You are going to love these.
You knew it had potatoes in it.
That's right.
And then my peanut butter carob pie for dessert. Boy, that just goes down so nice and smooth.
But before we get started, we are going to have a special by Hope's Call, Come Thou Fount.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise his name, I'm fixed upon it, name of God's redeeming love. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let your love, Lord, like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it for thy courts above. Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise his name, I'm fixed upon it, name of God's redeeming love.
Thank you, Hope's Call.
That was beautiful.
That
It
is a
was.
powerful message because when we are singing and we are praising God, that's when we are just filled with His love, and we're not thinking about all the negative stuff. We are thinking about the blessed hope.
That's right.
So that's a wonderful name for a group, is Hope's Call. And actually, you know, when I go to bed at night, I ask the Lord that when I wake up in the morning, or I wake up through the night, that He would just put a song in my heart, the one that He knows that I need. And I'll wake up and I am just singing in my mind just as loud as can be, and I'm like, what is that all about? And, you know, the other day it was like, on Christ the solid rock I stand, you know, and it just made me smile, you know, because He's
you know
so
what?
neat how He does that.
We grew up like that
I was gonna
because
say,
remember
Dad.
how we used to wake up
That's
in the
right.
morning? Our dad would come through the halls and by our bedrooms, and he'd be singing something. Now,
Heavenly Sunshine.
Bless Daddy, yeah, he can't sing, but I mean, oh, I loved
can't
him.
carry a
He'd be
tune.
like, there is sunshine in my soul today, and or you know,
And you know what?
heavenly sunshine, and that's how we would wake up in the
And
morning.
that song, whatever song He woke us up with for that day, that's the song I'd be singing all day long in my heart. I would just be heavenly sunshine, heavenly. I mean, you would sing that all day long.
And it makes a difference. And the other day I was reading a Bible verse, Isaiah 60 verse 1, and it said, arise and shine, for your light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. And then I started thinking, talking to the Lord, what do you mean arise and shine? Well, something came up during the day that called forth my human nature, where I just wanted to say, well, just forget it. And I realized God just spoke to me and said, Linda, I want you to arise and shine right now. And I just smiled, and I just said, well, thank you for pointing that out. You know, and
That's
then,
hard to do.
And then God said, see, that is my glory. And I thought, wonderful, because I hadn't thought of that verse as arise and shine, that the glory of the Lord will come upon you.
I love that you pointed that out in our worship
this
thought
morning, yeah.
Because one thing that sometimes when we have that feeling inside where we want to say something bad, but
Right.
we really do say something good, we've listened to that Holy Spirit's voice. That's arise and shine.
That's
right?
exactly
So
the way it is when we don't say what self wants to say, and we realize, hey, wait a minute, I asked God to put His beautiful robe of righteousness on me, that beautiful robe of praise and thanksgiving. Okay, I can either choose to say His words or my words, and when He puts His words there, even though I don't feel like it, I want to say His words, because afterwards it floods my heart with joy.
Aren't you-
I'm like, thank you, Lord, for not letting me say that.
Aren't you glad, though, that our relationship with God isn't based on feeling? It's
That's
not,
right.
You know,
That's
it's not
right.
based. You know, there are days that you may not feel, you know, like a Christian should feel inside. But that has nothing
That's
to do with
right.
It's not
Right.
based on feeling, and that's
But you
so
know,
important.
you know what? It's so easy to complain and to jump on people, but it's not as easy to praise somebody. I mean, because
That's
I
right.
mean, you're
Especially
like,
if they're
what
not-
did you do that for? But you know what I do now? And I do this when we go to a restaurant. A lot of times you'll notice, like, if your service is bad, what do? You go find the manager and you go, I cannot believe I got such terrible service. Well, what I do is when I have exceptional service, I go out to the front and I go, excuse me, could I speak with the manager? And they'll go, oh, well, yeah. And the manager comes like, can I help you, ma'am? And I go, yes, you can. I said, you know, I had server John today. And he goes, well, yes. And he goes, what can I do for you? And I go, he was one of the best servers I've ever had, and I just wanted you to know that. And he looks at, and they always look at me like this. They're so shocked, and they look at me like, thank you. We've never had anybody do that before. And I said, well, I just wanted you to know he was exceptional, and I just wanted you to know that.
I do that
And so
too.
I try. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes
You know,
time.
but I
That's
try
right.
and
That's right.
and take the time to do that, because I think that's important. You take the
Exactly.
time to complain.
Right.
And I think it's really important that you take the time to praise somebody. And I think we need to do that more often.
And you know, we can start practicing in our own homes
That's right.
with our husbands.
That's right.
Husbands with your wives, because Meals for Two, you know, we're going to kind of focus in on our own lives today just to share with you about some things that have happened. And before we get started and read the recipe, I just want to share with you an experience when my husband and I first got married. We love camping, and our gift to us was to stay at a youth camp. and in actually Wisconsin, and at that time it was called Camp Wadoon. We now live in Wisconsin, and my husband manages the camp at Camp Wakanda. So it's really interesting that
they changed, they moved the camp.
They moved and they changed, and now we live there where my husband manages the camp and everything. So he really enjoys his job. But when we were at the camp there, we were all excited, and I thought, I'm gonna, one of the gifts that they had given us, that we could use any of the food in their cupboard.
You mean for a wedding gift?
For a wedding gift.
And so this was on your honeymoon.
This was on our honeymoon, and we went there, and so I decided, well, I am gonna make something special for my husband. And so I made goulash. Only I made enough for all of you guys and my brothers and everything else. And I had big bowls, and my husband came out there and he saw this goulash, and then I made pizzas, and I had like 6, 7 pans of pizzas laying around, and I made a couple other dishes, and it was so funny because his eyes got bigger and bigger, and he was really, really quiet, and he said, well, honey, who's gonna eat all this food? And I looked around for the first time, and I was looking at all this food, and I thought, oh. Well, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I said, oh, honey, no worries. We're going to probably stop at my house on the way back from our honeymoon, where my brothers and sisters are, and we're just going to pack it all up and take them to them. And he goes, oh, well, that's nice.
He's probably worried you invited a crowd for the honeymoon.
And that's what we did. He was like, whoa.
He probably was worried that we were all coming to the honeymoon, because when they were dating...
Oh, this is funny.
This is funny.
Jim, her husband Jim, this is true. Her husband Jim would come to pick up Linda
for a date.
And when he was walking Linda out to the car, he'd open up the door. Dad would walk out with them, open up the back seat door, and go, "Come on, kids, everybody go for a ride with Jim and Linda. Pile in," and the rest of us would all pile in the back seat.
And he'd look at everybody, and he'd look at my husband, which was my husband then, and he'd say, "Have a nice time." Well, anyways, this, believe it or not, is a small amount compared to what that is. But we are going to make a salad, and I want you sisters to notice. What do you see?
Nice.
Lots of color. We are going to color our plate like a rainbow. This makes a delicious supper for you, and we're going to put in all those good colors.
But sis, can we first read the recipe so they know, they can write it down, and they can make this later?
Exactly. Brenda, would you read the recipe for us?
Here's what you're going to need. For the roasted walnut salad for 2, 1/4 a cup of carrots, 1/4 a cup of red seedless grapes, 1/4 a cup of red cabbage, 1/2 a cup of broccoli florets, 1/4 a cup of pineapple tidbits, 1/2 cup of fresh strawberries, 1/4 cup of roasted walnuts, and 2 green frilly leafy lettuce. Wow.
Thank you, sisters. You all need sisters when you're cooking for 2 even.
I think that's why God gave us sisters. We're supposed to look out for each other.
That's right.
And we do that.
That's right. Well, we are going to put the broccoli in.
Okay.
This is a really hard dish, You put the broccoli.
Now, I noticed you didn't have the all long stem on the blocky, just the florets.
Just like this.
Okay, somebody might not know what a floret is.
That's a good point. I'm so
They're
glad
little
you
flowers.
said this.
They're little
Look at their nice green
flowers.
color. We're going to put some carrots in there, shredded carrots, and we're going to put some lettuce in there.
Boy, I tell you what, that looks like it's just the size for Cinda. Not for 2 people.
Wait a minute, what's she saying?
It's for
You
2.
like salad.
Oh, I do love salad.
And here's some grapes. And this is fresh pineapple. So you can't, I love fresh pineapple, and we're going to try to got a little bit of the juice.
some of that.
And Cinda, while we're doing this, if you could make the dressing up, which is just veggies and some of the pineapple juice from the fresh pineapple. Okay. If you don't have that, you can use canned, and some pure maple syrup. And she's just going to mix that together. And then I'm going to stir this all up here like this, all those pretty colors. And then you'll take some strawberries, and you can slice some strawberries in it and save a couple for on top.
On top.
Yeah,
there you go.
Don't save them for on half. You can half your portion, and then that makes 2.
Boy, you really have half on the brain today.
I know.
I guess that's a good sign.
It's real traumatic for us. We're not used to little anything there.
All you do is mix it up. put some of the roasted walnuts in. And sis,
What,
would
can
you tell them how we roast them?
Well,
because I do mine in my microwave.
I do too. I roast them. I just sprinkle some on a plate, and I put it in the microwave, and I'll do it for a minute at a time. Take it out, and I kind of turn them around again for another minute. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 minutes on the plate, and then you will smell the aroma of the nut. You will smell a beautiful toasted aroma.
Real fragrant.
Very fragrant, and you're going to know, wow.
But if you don't have a microwave, I also do it in a skillet on the stove, and you just stir it. You have to stir it constantly.
Right.
But when they start to become fragrant, a dry skillet, and when they start to become fragrant, then you know.
And you can also do it in your oven. So
That's
if you,
right.
if
And
you
it
want
makes
to put
it
in your oven, you can do the same thing.
And we
So
have a finished one right here. I take and put it in a pineapple and then serve each of us have a pineapple half. And it's really not very much in there. It just looks like a lot. And you just serve it with the dressing on the side so you can put as much dressing as you want on it.
That's really pretty,
yeah,
sis.
that's beautiful.
So what do we have for the next one? And thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to make stuffing tartlets. And let me read the recipe for this. You will need 2 cups of chopped celery, 1 large onion chopped, 1 cup of chopped mushrooms, 8 cups of seasoned breadcrumbs, 1/2 cup of olive oil or soy margarine, 3 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of Micheff's chicken-style seasoning and broth, and 20 slices of vegetarian turkey-style slices. Now, I know that it says 20 slices of vegetarian turkey, and we have cooking for 2. But my husband eats a lot.
You thought she messed up, didn't you? Peg? What do you mean? This doesn't look like 2. You can't eat that much, right?
Joel eats a lot.
Well, there you go. No.
Just kidding. Actually, these are great to make ahead of time. I make it like this because it's so easy to put together that I like to make 20 of them, and then I put them in the freezer, freeze them, and then you can just pop out 1 or 2 or however many you want to use, and it just makes it easier. And I like to do that with a lot of things. You know, I'll make it in a little bit bigger quantity, and then
And it's
freeze
quality
it.
too, let me tell you.
But if you don't want to make this many, you could
cut it in half.
cut the recipe in half, yeah.
And you know, one thing too is when you, before you leave for work, you know, you can take the little tartlets out, set them in the refrigerator, you know, covered up.
Right.
And then when you come home, they're already thawed, and it just takes no time at all to pop
Heat
them
them
in, whether it's the microwave or oven or whatever. So that cuts down your time too, and you'll be surprised at how fast you can put a meal together.
That's right. So we're thinking.
Aren't you glad we thought that out for you?
We're going to take the 8 cups of the dried breadcrumbs,
Okay.
and I have already sauteed the onions, so we'll add the sauteed onion. And then I also sauteed now you could saute your mushrooms and onions and celery together in a skillet. And this is the celery that I have sauteed. And when I do the celery, I also do the little leaves and stuff too.
I do too. I like the flavor
I
it
like
gives.
the flavor it gives. And then the chopped mushrooms, I sauteed those too. And like I said, you could saute these all together.
And I love mushrooms, but since my husband doesn't care for them, and you just go by whatever the taste of
Right,
your
your
husband
family.
likes,
That's true. Your
I
family.
leave out the mushrooms.
Right.
But I love them, so I'm always excited to go to Cinda or Brenda's house. I get my mushrooms.
Well, remember, Mom and Dad used to, at Grandma's house, our cousin Johnny used to find them those morel mushrooms.
Right, and
Well,
I think
Grandpa used to.
And Grandpa used to find them too. And all those morel mushrooms were so good. And I wish I
still
would have
love
thought
them.
of that, because now I really want some.
Now I take, sis, if you want to mix that and stir that in the water. This is your Micheff's chicken-style seasoning and broth, which is totally vegetarian, vegan. But you can also use a vegetarian chicken-style seasoning that you like.
What about, and they also have a liquid vegetarian chicken style liquid broth already in a broth you can get if you.
If it's vegetarian, yeah. And then now you could, if you don't want to use soy margarine, you could use oil. I like the flavor better with the soy margarine. So I'm going to add the soy margarine to my liquid.
Or you can leave it out if you don't want it either. I've made it that way too.
And you could, and just add more liquid. But make sure you add the extra half a cup of liquid. I like the flavor of it, but like she said. And then pour that all over. And then we'll just mix it up.
And if it's still a little bit dry.
But it's not going, this is not a really mushy, sticky stuffing.
Okay.
It is a chunkier, little drier stuffing. But you do want it to stick together. But
not be mush.
But you don't want it mush. And
it won't stick right away, of course, because it has to absorb into the crumbs.
I was going to say, let it sit for at least 5 minutes like this. And once you get it all mixed together, let it sit for about 5 minutes. And but in the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and take your muffin tin, and we'll spray it.
Come up over here so it doesn't get on the...
Right here. We'll just spray a couple in the middle, just so. Well, I'll do some.
Might as
so
well
each
do
of
them
you.
all.
All right.
I know the crew's going to just scarf these up, see?
All right. She's thinking of you guys.
I'm thinking.
Then you can use any type of vegetarian turkey slices that you want. You can use, I know Worthington makes one and Ives makes one. And so I'll take the
Vibrant Life.
Vibrant Life has a really good one.
Vibrant Life is the vegan one.
Right.
So
In fact,
Worthington isn't, but
You have to
Vibrant
be,
Life is.
right. I mean, you have to be careful.
educated. You have to be an educated consumer.
And read the labels.
Read the
because
labels.
sometimes they'll add egg whites and they'll tell you it's vegetarian and it's not really. And we've learned that.
Right.
Which it's lacto-vegetarian if it has egg whites in it.
And if you don't care about that.
if you don't use any dairy at all, then you're going to want to go with the Vibrant Life.
Vibrant Life products.
And it's delicious.
That's right.
Well, take your slice and gently press it in. And I don't press it all the way to the bottom. I gently press it in like that. Y'all can take one and practice. And if it splits a little bit, don't worry about it. But just...
Well, I'm sure glad you said that. I might not have slept all night.
Well, there you go. And just press it in to the pan.
I would have slept just fine because it all tastes the same. Just put a little more garnish on top.
Here, sis. And also, if you're having a hard time getting it to bend in, put it in the microwave or, heat it up just a little bit. And then you will take...
Busted.
That's okay. That's
really
okay.
Busted.
That's okay.
Don't look.
No, we can make it work. Don't worry about it. And then you'll take your stuffing and spoon it into the middle.
Well,
like
mine's
this.
just getting worse by the moment.
It's okay. You know what?
There, cover that up
I'll
good.
cover it up for you, sis. There you
Thanks,
go.
there you
Don't worry. No worries. I got you covered.
See there.
And then you just put it in the little pan, the tarts like this, and you'll put this in the oven. And well, first you'll spray the top. I spray the top again, and just make it a little crisp. And then you put it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes until it's brown. You can put it in for 20 or 25 if you like the tops a little crispier. And that's
like
it.
crispy.
And we'll show you it's all finished. And I serve it with brown gravy.
That looks good.
That's actually Sister Linda's brown gravy that I actually could eat like soup because it's so good.
It's nice. It's nice to have sweet, appreciative sisters.
And that's recipes in our cookbook as well.
Right, for her brown gravy.
So what's
right.
next?
What's next is my stuffed peppers. Let me read the recipe for you. For stuffed peppers for 2, you're going to need a half a cup of onion, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a half a cup of veggie burger, 1 cup of uncooked rice, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 quart of tomatoes. Now this recipe is going to make just 2 peppers. It's one for you and 1 for somebody else. But
I've yet to see this.
let me tell you, I worked really hard to get this recipe down for 2 peppers. And you can use any 2 kind of peppers you want. In fact, this week we got a letter from someone that let us know that I should never refer to a green pepper as a green pepper. That in Texas, a green pepper is considered really a hot pepper. And so I'm going to say if you want to use a bell pepper, which he corrected us on, see, he said if you want to use a bell pepper,
Thank you.
a green bell pepper, you may. I don't
Trabalhar, descansar.
have a different taste to me when an aftertaste.
Well,
that bothers
actually,
me.
the reason why I never cook with green bell peppers is I'm allergic to them. So, and I
You
can
are?
eat. Yeah, I
didn't
can
know
eat
that.
the orange and the red and the yellow, but I can't eat green ones.
Wow.
So that's why I never have green ones.
Well, it always gives me like an upset stomach. Is that what it does for you too?
Oh yeah, it makes me
see,
sick.
Oh, well, maybe
Must
I'm
be a
allergic
Micheff
too,
thing,
and
but
I didn't even know it.
Anyway, that's the reason I just afterwards it just really bothers me, and I'm the same way. I can eat any other color, but just not the green
But
one.
you
So
may
if
be
you
able to
can
eat the
eat
green.
them, if
And
you
you
can
like
eat them, then you could
You
use
can
the
use
green.
them. It's not a problem at all. It's just so today I have a red and an orange. You can have red and yellow. You can have any color you want. But today this is red and orange. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just take a sharp knife and just gently, if you watch here, I'm going to put this over here so you can see. Go in close to where the stem is here and go inside, and with the short, just really, it's very easy to get carried away and go straight off, and you're gonna, ruin your pepper cup.
So
'cause we're gonna
don't
make
get
a cup.
impatient.
So don't get impatient. So now this here is being a little stubborn, so I'm gonna go start over here and go meet it in the middle, and see how I did that. And now look at that's gonna just come right in, and so then I'm gonna just pull that little thing right out of there, and you will see you will have all this kind of stuff inside here, and you want to just pull that out. So pull all those little things out, and be careful not
You
to
want a
tear.
spoon?
No, I just do this. It's easy, Takes the joy right out of it. See if I use a spoon. So I tap it gently, and don't do what I did this morning. I tapped too gently, and I
Too
busted
gently?
it. I mean, I tapped. Yeah, it was gently. All right. I tapped too heartily, and it busted the pepper, and I was like, oh, okay, good thing I had an extra one. Okay, so that is good. And sis, if you would take that pepper and put it in that pot over there, and now I'm going to do the next one.
I can do that.
And just really quick all the way around. And you see how it just makes it makes it like a cup. And so here we go. And pull that one out, and now we're going to take all that inside stuff out again. And then we're tapping gently, get the seeds out. You want all those seeds out so it looks like that. Okay? And then we're going to put that one over there. Whoops, I left a little piece in there. Okay, that can go away. Now, sis, if you'll turn this fire on, we've got our peppers ready to go. And we're going to turn the skillet on right now, and we're going to put in a little olive oil. And then Cinda's favorite thing, raw onions.
Oh, what did I stand on this side for? These onions are raw.
Here,
Okay. See,
I can't do raw. I
We got it
cannot do
covered.
raw onions. I'm sorry. All right.
okay, so now we are going to saute those. And while that's getting hot and getting ready to saute, I wanted to just share with you a little something about my husband, Tim. He is a person that, let's see, there's people that live to eat, and there's people that eat to live. And I definitely am one that I love to eat.
You're a
I
Micheff.
live to eat. And
You're a
I
Micheff.
really enjoy my food. My husband, if you could just give him a pill and he wouldn't even have to bother with the food, he would be thrilled. I mean, and he has a wife that would literally cook him anything his heart desires, day or night, whatever he wants.
And you do.
And I do. I mean, the very, very rare times that he has actually asked me for anything, I have made it. Even if I was getting ready to drive to 3abn's the next day, I've gotten up at 4 in the morning, cooked what he wanted, so when I left, it was there for him. Because he hardly ever will ask me for anything. If I'll say, honey, what do you have a taste for today, which I know better than to do now, he'll say, honey, whatever you want. Whatever I put out there, that's fine, as long as I know what he likes and dislikes, see? So I have a real challenge just really trying to make things that he enjoys. And the things that he does enjoy, I might cook a whole recipe of, because then he might eat some more of that. But he generally, for the most part, does not eat leftovers. So I have lots of friends that like the leftovers, and I can take it to them. So now,
Yeah, mainly me. Who lives across the street from her.
But Tim is the kind of person that he is so busy and he is so concentrated on his work, and that's why he
Right.
doesn't have time to take time for those
No.
things, because he's
very focused.
Yeah, he's very focused.
In fact,
My husband loves leftovers.
my husband is actually, he's the president of a company in Washington, D.C., and when I'm taping Kids Time, we live in Knoxville, so I drive 6 hours to 3abn's to work and stay all week, and he drives 7 hours to Washington, D.C. He says he's the man. He can drive 1 more hour than me. And then we meet home for the weekends. And he travels a lot. He's very busy, and you're right. He's very focused on his work. So I want very much when we are home together, he doesn't have to get up for anything. If he says he wants a drink of water, I am there with it. I go running to him with it because I love to, I love to please him. So.
It's fun to make, our husbands happy.
It is.
It is. I love to see a smile on, my husband's face when I do something for him. I just love doing that.
And the joy is in the pleasing. The joy is in the pleasing.
I
really
love cooking for him.
It is. It is. So anyway, you're gonna put all your burger in here. This is so easy.
What kind of burger is this?
I have Ives burger.
And
Why?
it's like a gluten, right?
It's a ground gluten. You can use your favorite gluten you want. And then you're going to put in raw rice.
And you're using brown rice.
And I use brown rice. And you put it in raw, okay? And then all you're going to do...
You just added salt.
I just added some salt.
Tell. Did you want to stir this?
No, you can turn it off. And look what you're going to do. You're just going to fill... After that's all stirred up,
this one?
you're going to take this and you're just going to... Maybe I'll do it like this. You're just going to fill each one with that rice all the way in here. Just fill it up like that. And when you get each one filled up, it will only take a second here. And this will plump up when it cooks. It will fluff up really nice as it cooks because after we get all that rice in there, in fact, sis, we can just do that. You're going to, let me just do this here.
I was going to say, you might as well just
put it in there, see? And it doesn't matter if some spills over, it'll just be a little softer rice. And then you're going to take your quart of tomatoes, and I just dump it right over the top or on side. It doesn't matter, just put it right in there like that. And look at that. Some of that tomatoes will cook down in there. You're going to put the lid on that, and you're going to cook it and bring it to a boil. Simmer it on low for a couple hours until the rice is tender. And then it's ready to serve, and it's going to look just like that. And I've used a yellow pepper here, so you can see the difference and how it looks when it's done. And there it is. Stuffed peppers for 2.
Can you use instant rice if you wanted to hurry it up and not wait the 2 hours?
Yes, you could. Well, no, I wouldn't use instant rice because your pepper wouldn't be done in time. So I wouldn't use the instant rice, but I would use the brown rice. If you
well, sometimes
if you like it mushy, you could.
I was going to say I would because I don't like my pepper mushy. I like my pepper to be firmer.
Well, there you go.
And so I would go ahead and use it. So
if you like your pepper mushy or you like it, firm, you do accordingly. That's fine. And right now, Linda is going to fix some cornbread.
Ooh,
cornbread
that's right.
for 2.
Some honey cornbread. And sister, would you read that for me, sister?
I will.
Okay.
You will need 1/4 cup of whole wheat pastry flour, 1/4 cup of unbleached white flour, 1/4 cup of cornmeal, 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of Rumford baking powder, 1 tablespoon of canola oil, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1/4 cup plus 3 tablespoons of soy milk, 1/4 cup of sweet corn, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Well, we are going to make honey cornbread. Honey,
Ooh, that
2 people.
sounds sweet.
Oh,
Honey,
just for
I am
your
making you some corn muffins.
Is that how you came up with that name?
It is. I was thinking, oh, well, what 2? Oh, honey. Okay, we're going to put our whole wheat flour in.
Okay.
And our unbleached white, or you can use a white wheat.
Could you use a pastry flour or no?
Yes. And I have cornmeal. And we have some baking powder.
Rumford, so it doesn't have the aluminum.
That's right. Thank you. And we have some salt here. And we're just going to take and mix it all up. This is...
I got to say, this just seems so strange.
I was going to say, it feels like we're playing with our food.
Like we're playing house when we're little kids again, Some doesn't feel right.
I actually had to make this several times to be able to get it down.
It might take us 2 years to get this cookbook done, really.
But now that David and Katie are off at college, and I still do not know how to cook for two. And Joel will come home.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, Joel will come home and he'll go, Cinda, how many people are coming for supper? And I'll go, just you and me, hun. And he goes, Cinda, I like leftovers, but I don't know if I want to eat them for the next 3 weeks. And it's like, well.
Then you call me, see?
And then I call, that's true. Then I call Brenda, hey, sis, you want
I just
some
made
stuff?
this huge pot of tortilla soup, my favorite. Love it. Hint, hint, hint. It's time for some more.
Speaking of doing, knowing what to do with the leftovers, when we came here to cook this time, each of us, our friends came with us. Mm-hmm. And Sandy Lee came with me to help me with the cooking. And you brought...
Corrine Jones and Rosalie Peters.
And my Kids Time production assistant, Brenda Abbott, came to help me. And I got to tell you, we don't know what we'd do without them. And they've helped so much with all the food prep and helping us set up trays.
Corrine Jones and Rosalie Peters, I do the photo shoots for the Vibrant Life magazine, and they write the article, I do the photo shoots, and they always help me with the food prep for the photo shoots.
Well, they might not know what that is. Vibrant Life is a magazine that is an incredible health magazine, and you all need to get it. It's called Vibrant Life, and go to vibrantlife.com and subscribe to it today. And my sisters and I, we do the food article. It's called a Taste and See food article for it. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 pages. Linda and I write an article. We're always sharing little things from our family and our experiences growing up and that kind of thing. And then also we include recipes in each magazine. And Cinda does that's her contribution. She takes care of making sure all the photographs that you see in the magazine look beautiful.
And she
making
all the food.
I do I'll do all the food styling.
All the food prep and food styling.
All the food prep. I do all the photographs. And
you do a beautiful job, I got to tell you. They're gorgeous.
And her friends help her,
But I'm saying
too.
they help me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it by myself.
So if you can't cook for two,
That's
just go ahead and make a recipe and let your friends enjoy the rest.
and I can share with you that I have a hard time cooking for two. I really do. We're just being so honest with you. It is a very big challenge, and I really don't stress about it because, like I said, I have prayed for help for Kids Time, because we have 7,000 kids from 24 different countries enrolled in Kids Club around the world taking Bible studies. So if you can imagine, this has just grown so much, and I prayed for help, and God sent me Brenda Marie Abbott, and she is so precious, and I send all my leftovers home, and I know you do too, Cindy. We give them to Brenda. We'll call up and say, Brenda, we've got leftovers, and she'll take all our leftovers
and
for us.
And Mom contributes a lot to that.
I got to share this with you. Our mom is so precious, and let me tell you what her ministry has been. She is in charge of Kids Club. That's
exactly.
Right. She sends out those lessons. She does it full time from the morning till the morning she wakes up.
Yes.
All day
night.
long she is working on Kids Club. And literally, if you can imagine, when the mail comes, it is a ton of mail that comes in. Every name that comes in is plugged into a computer to keep track of where they are and what set of lessons they need to get sent back to them. And so she does all that. I don't know what we would do without Mom. And so, Mom, I just want to thank you for all you do for Jesus. I mean, this is an incredible ministry. There's people and children, not just little children, but there's adults taking Kids Club lessons, and that are coming to know Jesus and being baptized because of these Kids Club lessons.
And
Daddy gets in on the act too.
Daddy's part of the ministry too.
They correct the Bible lessons.
They correct. Well, not only that, Daddy goes to the post office. It's too much for them to leave it at the box anymore. They have to go to the post office to pick up all the mail.
Daddy does the mailing and
takes it out all the time.
Mickey Miller helps Mom correct them. So I mean, it's just a team effort. So you know what? We need friends. So
that's right.
You know what? Don't worry if your recipes.
So feed your friends.
So feed your friends. So if you can't cook for two either, go ahead and make our regular recipes, and let's just spread the blessings and spread the joy, and just say thank you to your friends that care about you.
That's right. Well, now that we have all the ingredients thoroughly mixed together, we are going to put the wet ingredients in the middle. I kind of make a little well in the middle, and I'm not going to pour quite all the soy milk in, because I'm not,
Do you know what a well is in the middle? See, some people don't know. I had somebody write and ask me. That's why I'm saying
that's right. You just make a hole in the middle of your dry ingredients.
I thought this would be a good time to show them.
And the honey. We actually do have honey in this recipe.
My grandson Michael, when he cooks with me, he thinks everything needs a well in it now. He'll say, Grandma, let me make the well.
And we've got I like vanilla in it. And then we have our little bit of canola oil. And I like to put, this actually, we put this corn up. This is frozen corn. And I'm going to save just a little bit to put on top.
From Michigan?
No.
This is Wisconsin
This is
corn.
Wisconsin.
Oh,
and we're just going to stir it up.
I think Wisconsin and Michigan have some of the best corn.
I guess we are going to need the rest of this.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm. I'd put the rest of the corn in. That'd be good.
No, she's going to put it on top and decorate.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
All right.
Pay attention over there.
Okay.
And actually, this needed to be a little bit more liquid in it.
Okay.
But if that happens, sis, you want to get me just a little bit of water?
I can do that.
And you can just stretch your soy milk there, you know.
And it won't hurt a thing, will it?
No. And actually, in the carrying down, some of it might have spilled. But if it comes to that place where you say, this is just a little bit dry, then go ahead and add.
Do you want more?
Yes, just a little bit more so I can show you the consistency. It doesn't.
Right.
You just go ahead and add a little bit more soy milk to it.
Well, all flour is not created equal. It could be your flour content, because some flours absorb more moisture than others. And also how long your flour's been sitting on the shelf can affect it as well. So
Cinda,
there's
would you
lots of
spray
variables.
some of my? And before she sprays this, I want to tell you, this pan may look kind of old and whatever, but it was from Daddy.
Aww.
Daddy got me this pan when my husband and I for a wedding gift. He got me 2 pans.
Aww.
And I have
And you have
used it. And Daddy, thank you so much. It just touched my heart that Daddy would get me. He got me a cake pan and a muffin pan. And I have used this for, my husband and I have been married 36, 7 years, whatever. And
Linda, you're in trouble now.
now you know how old I am. Oh, well, never mind. Anyways, thank you, Daddy.
Can I just tell you what? I don't have any problem telling people how old I am. I am 53 years old. I'm thankful for every year God gave me. And shame on me if I'm going to be complaining about a gray hair or how old I am or anything else. I say, praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus.
Sometimes we do complain, so we do get some of the shame on us. Okay, and you just divide this up into 4 things here.
Oh. And if you have them, can they come over the edge like that, or do they have to stay? Do they rise very much? I guess is what I'm asking.
When you divide it in 4, it'll be just perfect, and you can see right. Oh, that does look better.
Yeah.
Now those look really good. You're going to put some of that corn on top?
I'm going to put some of the corn on top of this, so you can fill them up about like that. Just divide it in 4 ways, and then you can just sprinkle a little bit of the corn on top.
And it bakes that way.
It bakes that way, and it comes out nice.
All right.
And that's all there is to it.
Now that looks pretty good.
Now, what do we have for our next recipe?
Cinda's got, you know it's going to have potatoes in it. You know, you knew that, didn't you?
When they ask me to come up with a recipe, I usually start with potatoes.
There you go.
And so these are elegant potatoes.
All right.
Let me read the recipe for you. For this, you will need 5 large potatoes, boiled until cooked, 1 8-ounce package container of Tofutti Better Than Cream Cheese, herb and chive flavor, and 1 package of frozen puff pastry sheets or shells. Now, this recipe will make 4 because my husband will eat 1 and I'll eat 3. Because it's potatoes.
Now, that might be truer than you know.
My husband is like that, too. I mean, Cinda and him get along really well.
Yes, we go on our ski trips together, and Jim and I eat those potatoes.
He loves them.
I'm using the frozen puff pastry shells today. If you want to use the frozen puff pastry sheets, you can just cut them into squares, and you can put the little, your squares, you can put them into a little muffin tin, and then put the potato filling in and bake it like that. But these, when you use the shells, you already bake them, which I have here, so I've already baked them, and I'm gonna just gently take my knife around the already cut out edge and just lift out the edge of it, like that, and says save that.
Okay.
And then I take this part out. and I don't eat this part.
Okay.
So we don't want
So
that.
Yes, but it's good
I've already-
for our dogs and our cats or whoever.
That's right. That's right.
Unless some people have a strict diet for their dogs or cats.
I was going to say,
That's right.
be careful. We can't feed dogs just anything.
Well, mine would eat it.
I've already cooked the potatoes, and what you want to do is you drain off the water, and while they're hot, add your tofutti better than cream cheese, and I use the herb and chive flavor. If you cannot find the herb and chive flavor, use the regular flavor, and then you can add your favorite seasonings, favorite herbs, and I do add dried or fresh chives to it, and to give your potatoes some flavor.
Now, if you wanted to use the better than cream, sour cream instead of cream cheese, would that matter?
You could.
Okay,
You could.
okay.
The cream cheese, I just like the way.
I've had them with I've had the sour cream one with you in another recipe. That's why I liked it. What you
Yeah,
did too.
you could. You're right. You
She
could.
does lots of good things with potatoes.
You could use either one, and I put some of the filling in here, in the center of your shell, and then you want to make a little well, like this. And I like to mound the potatoes up because obviously I like potatoes. I'm going to set this on the plate
Okay.
and do it this way because it'll be easier.
Shall we show them what the box is like for the puff pastry shells? I can just put that out there so you can see it.
Sure. And you could make, if you wanted to, if you can't find puff pastry shells in your area or puff pastry, you could make your own pastry at home and just use like a pie crust.
And also, and when you're not just cooking for two, this is a great idea. If you have like a woman's ministry thing and you want to make something nice that looks a little bit nicer than just put
right.
some potatoes and gravy on, which men's retreat just like the potatoes and gravy, you know, don't do all the fuss. But women like things a little nicer, so you can do this for the women. You just take these potatoes that Cinda's created, these little potato boats, and you can serve them with an entree and you know, a nice salad, and you've got something pretty special there, which is pretty easy to make.
And you know, I wanted to say, my husband doesn't mind that I cook in volume or quantity, because he's just happy I cook for him, because even though David and Katie are gone, we still have a sit-down meal every night. And I try and make the tables, I decorate the table special for him and make it really nice, because, you know, he is the most important thing
right.
in my life. And so I want him to feel
Sis,
special.
Wasn't it the other day you said something, you were going to do something for Joel to go out, and it wasn't his birthday, or maybe it was, you were doing something special for Valentine's or something, and he said, I just want to eat at home. I like your food the best.
He did.
Who can blame him?
I said, honey, do you want to go out for your birthday? We'll go to a restaurant. He said, I'd really just like you to cook for me. So I did.
Like, oh, that's nice.
We do. We rarely eat out. And then you will take this. Now, this is Linda's homemade gravy again. Thanks,
brown
Sis.
gravy.
You're very
And
welcome.
she got up early and made this for me. And I spoon this into the top. Now, if you're going to serve it on a buffet, like Linda said, you would just leave it like this. But if you're going to do a single serving, then you just drizzle it over the top. And then I like to add just a little piece of fresh dill, or you can use your favorite herb, just to decorate the top. And
Well, we've
see
got
how
one
pretty
already
that.
done
And
for
we've
you.
got some already done for you. We'll show you.
Right over here.
And
she's got it all ready with the
there
little
you
caps
go.
right there.
there you go. Elegant potatoes.
And to
sis,
go with that, I've got just the thing. We've got the peanut butter pie. Let me read the recipe for you. You're going to need 7 ounces of morinu tofu, 1/2 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of oil, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And for the carob mixture, you will need 1/2 cup of barley sweetened carob chips, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and 2 tablespoons of Rice Krispie cereal. I'm going to show you just how fast you can make your peanut butter pie. First, you're going to take a bowl like this, put your peanut butter, spread it all around, put your carob chips in the middle, and then you're going to put this in the microwave for 1 minute. Let it set for just a minute, and then stir it around. It will melt just like this. Isn't that nice? And so you set that aside. Then all the other ingredients, everything else except your Rice Krispies, are going to go in the blender, and you're going to whiz it around that blender.
And your whipped topping.
No.
You said all the other ingredients.
Oh, I see. That's right.
Don't put your whipped topping in the blender.
Right.
I'm helping them out.
There you go. She's absolutely right. So you just want everything but the whipped topping and the Rice Krispies in the blender. Blend it up. It's going to look just like this. Now you're going to take some pastry shells, and I just have it in tin foil, these little bitty pastry shells. Any pie crust recipe you want, bake your pie crust first. Then when that is baked and cooled, you're going to put in this carob mixture in the bottom. And you don't want to drip on the side if you can help it, which I might still do.
And if that happens, just drizzle.
Just drizzle. There
and
you
make
go.
it all over, and then it'll look
And
even.
then then what you're going to do, see how I just put a little bit in the bottom. If you like a lot, put a lot. Little, put a little. And then you're going to put that in the freezer and let it set for just a little bit, harden a little bit, but for the sake of time, we're going to just now take this, we're going to just pretend here that this is hard, and now you put your peanut butter mixture on top, and if it's not going to hurt anything either. And so you're just going to put that on top, and then you're going to, there you go, then you're going to put that into the freezer and let it get hard. When that gets hard, oops, I was going to say,
what are you going to do with
You're going to put your Rice Krispies in first. And if you don't want Rice Krispies, this is the one for you. Okay?
That's right.
Rice Krispies in with your carob mixture first, and then that.
And you don't need the Rice Krispies for it to taste
after
good.
it's frozen and you take it out, then you can put your Cool Whip, Cool Whip, your
non-dairy whipped topping.
Non-dairy whipped topping. Put that on there, and then you can just take some of this mixture right here and put it in the freezer and let it harden. The same carob mixture, and when it's hardened, it'll look like this. And send to show them how they can do just a couple of carob curls.
You take a vegetable peeler and you just go like that. See how it's curling? It's so nice. And depending on how the edge you do, that's how you get it.
That's all you need. And here you can see two of them that I've already done for you right over here. One with non-dairy topping and one with no topping at all.
And now we'll show you how to get some of these recipes.
If you've enjoyed the recipes you've seen today and would like to purchase your own copy of their new cookbook, Cooking for Two with the Micheff Sisters, you can do so by writing to 3ABN, Post Office Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896. That's 3ABN, Post Office Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896. You can call 618-627-4651. That's 618-627-4651. Or visit MicheffSisters.com and order online. That's MicheffSisters.com.
Hello, I'm Terry Christian, and we've just wrapped up our spring camp meeting and 10 Commandments weekend. It was an incredible blessing, and 3ABN's Tom Mann was there in all the excitement. Here's what he had to say.
This year's 10 Commandments weekend was an incredible success, and thanks to you and all the folks who attended, it offered new speakers and a lot of new programs.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
God is saying, I will compete with no one.
Take the name of God and not take the life that God gives with that name.
He loves this day. Over a third of all the words of the 10 Commandments are in the 4th commandment.
The 5th commandment deals with the whole issue of the home.
And the first of these neighborly commands is don't kill your neighbor. What am I going to say about the commandment that says, thou shalt not steal, except for, thou shalt not steal?
I have a version that simply says, you shall not tell lies.
Don't commit adultery. Keep the marriage pure.
There's one sin that we need to be vigilant about, is the sin of covetousness.
As with every spring camp meeting,
and 10 Commandments Weekend, our broadcast audience experienced powerful messages from anointed speakers.
Christ will lead his army of obedient saints home to glory.
Gifted singers lifting hearts toward heaven. And this year's event offered special programs. 10 Commandments Kids featuring Doug Batchelor.
This is the most important thing first.
A documentary on youth culture versus the 10 Commandments, produced by Jason Wilhelm.
As Christian young people, living in a society that caters to the full
And
range.
Liberty in Our Times with Lincoln Steed. Another special feature of our programming was a behind-the-scenes look at our 10 Commandments Weekend during our anchor break segments before the top of the hour.
And Tom Mann is out roving around with the camera and the microphone.
We're going to give you a chance to look at something you rarely get to see in something. This year's Spring Camp Meeting and 10 Commandments Weekend was the most comprehensive coverage ever of this annual event.
Thank you, Tom, for that report. If you'd like to come to our next big event, make plans to be with us for our fall homecoming here in our worship center from September 24th through the 26th. So mark your calendars and come on down for a blessing. If the Holy Spirit impresses you to support 3ABN's ministry, please send your tax-deductible love gifts to 3ABN, Post Office Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois, 62896. And thank you for your faithful prayers and support of Three Angels Broadcasting Network. Together, we are making a difference for eternity.
Well, we're going to show you again some of the things that we have made. And I think we're going to start over here with our pineapple, our fruit salad here. Actually, it was a roasted walnut salad.
That looks so good. And there I have stuffed peppers for 2. And boy, you might want to double that recipe.
Elegant potato boats. And stuffing tartlets.
That's right. And those are so easy to
And
make.
we have honey corn muffins.
That's right. And also a peanut butter pie. And that is such a good recipe to make and keep in your freezer.
That's right.
Well, we had fun today, didn't we?
We sure did. But that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, may all your meals be seasoned with God's love.
Bye-bye, everybody.